Yes, that's it. Alright, Jalen, so what's the first thing that we do, sweetie?
The first thing that we do is we read the question.
Awesome, Joshua, talk to us. What's it say, buddy?
It says, what do all plants need to survive?
What do all plants need to survive? Jalen, what does this question ask me?
This question is asking me, what do plants need to be alive?
To be alive, beautiful. So Joshua, what did we learn about that all plants need to survive? What's one thing that all plants need to survive?
One thing that plants need to survive is
Carbon dioxide. What's another thing, Jalen?
Water.
What's another thing?
Light.
Light. So let's look at our answer choices. Water. Do they need water?
Yes.
Let's look at B. Do they need light?
Yes.
Carbon dioxide?
Yes.
So what would be the best answer choice for these?
D.
D. All the above, yes, because you guys just said that they need water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide.
And all the answer choices are just one, but we need to put them in all because they need all the things to be alive.
To be alive, yes. And you know, Jalen knew that they needed to be alive because she saw the word survive. She knows survive means to be alive. Let me ask you guys a question. This is one of my favorite type of horses. This is a Clydesdale. The name of this horse is Jericho. Just by looking at Jericho, what do you think Jericho's parents are? And how do you know? Turn and talk to each other.
I think Jericho's parents are B because they both have the same fur and the same color.
I agree with you because in B, in B, all of them look like Jericho. In choice B, both of the parents look just like Jericho.
So yeah, so I heard Jalen say that it looks like B because you said that they have the same type of fur, right? What else is similar, Joshua, about the horses besides the same type of fur? What else do you know?
The fur on the legs.
The fur on the legs, yes, that they have some type of fur around their legs. So their fur around their body, the nice little fur on their legs. What else do you notice is similar between those two horses, Jalen?
I noticed that there are like both the same animal.
They're both type of horses, yeah, but they're both horses as well. What else? What are some other similar features that you notice?
The fur that's covering their.
What about it, Joshua?
They all have the same thing on their.
Yeah, they're both the same color. So they both have that same white patch that's coming right across their face. Huh. Why was it so easy for you to choose B and not A or C? They're all horses to me. How did you immediately know it was B?
Because A and C don't look like Jericho and his parents.
Okay.
And A is a donkey.
Oh, A is a donkey. And how is a donkey different from this horse right here? Jalen?
I think it's different because they don't both have the same fur color and they're both not the same animal.
They're both horses. But what's specifically different between the donkey and the Clydesdale?
Well,
Looking at those two pictures. Because you immediately looked at Mama and Papa and you knew immediately that would be their dads. Besides the fact that they're donkeys, what else is different between these horses and this horse right here? What else is different?
They don't have the same kind of fur.
So they're different colors. Okay, what else? What else is different between donkey and Jericho?
the big one has a big nose.
Which one?
That one.
So the nose is different. Yep, they both have different noses, or at least the shape. What else is different?
The donkey doesn't have the white.
So they don't have they have a different facial features. What about the size?
The size is small.
Which one's smaller, Jericho or the donkey?
The donkey.
So the donkey is smaller. So what you guys did, you were able to identify Jericho's parents because you were looking at characteristics of the horses. You noticed that they had similar fur. You noticed that they had the same patch in their face. You noticed that they had the same body type. You also noticed that they had that similar fur around their legs. That is known as inherited traits. Joshua, please read the definition of inherited traits. A characteristic.
A characteristic that is genetically passed down from parent to offspring.
From parent to offspring. So you were able to identify Jericho's parents because just like his parents, Jericho has that white patch because that's an inherited trait. It was passed down from both of his parents. You were also able to identify his parents because just like his parents, they have the same type of body. So that was also passed down. So those were some examples of inherited traits. Other examples of inherited traits, Jalen and Joshua, are hair color, eye color, muscle structure, and bone structure. So that being said, I want you to turn and talk to each other, and I want you to identify some inherited traits in this family of tigers. What are some inherited traits that you see in this family of tigers? Jalen, go ahead and talk to Josh.
I noticed that all the tigers have whiskers.
I noticed that all the tigers have the same noses.
Jalen, what else?
I also know that only 3 of the tigers have stripes and one doesn't.
Oh, so the stripes. This one has stripes too. They're just a little bit harder to see. But yes, they all have stripes. What are some other types of inherited traits that you notice?
They all have the same eyes.
Yes, same type of eyes. What else, Joshua?
And ears.
Same ears. So yes, notice these are characteristics that are genetically passed down from offspring to offspring. You pointed out the stripes, you pointed out the nose, same ears. You could even go with the paws. You already said the eyes. Here's your mission. You guys are going to use your knowledge based on what you just learned about inherited traits. And again, remind me again, Joshua, what's an inherited trait, Josh?
A characteristic that is genetically passed down from parent to offspring.
What's an inherited trait, Jalen?
A heritage is
A characteristic
a characteristic that is
genetically
genetically passed down from parents to offspring.
from parent to offspring. So that being said, you guys are going to use your knowledge of inherited traits to guess what two plants' offsprings will look like. So you guys are going to use these two plants. And you're going to use your knowledge based on what you just learned about inherited traits and come up with an image as to what the plant's offspring will look like. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to each do the image.
Can we switch it up?
You want to glue it on this side? That's fine. Just glue the image down here. Okay, so you're going to glue it. And Joshua, just remind us, what is your mission? What are you going to be doing with these two images?
Use the two. We need to tell the difference in the offspring. We need to tell what the offspring looks like
Based on what?
based on the flowers.
Based on the two flowers. And what information are you going to be using to help you? To help you imagine what that offspring will look like, Jalen. What are you going to be looking at?
I think we're going to be looking at the flowers and to describe them, what they both have in common.
I want you to turn and talk. What are some of the features that you think your offspring will have based on those two flowers? So just looking at those two flowers first. Take a couple of seconds to look at them first. and then talk to each other. What do you think their offspring will look like and why? Go ahead, Jamie. You started off.
They both like.
Talk to Josh. Don't talk to me.
I noticed about these flowers that they both have petals.
I noticed that they both have those polka dots on each petal.
So far you're telling me that your offspring is gonna have petals. You're also telling me that your offspring is gonna have polka dots. What else?
And I also know, I forgot what are these.
Ask Josh if he knows.
The pollen. They're called.
Well,
They're called.
I noticed these plants have them too.
And what do you think that is? Why is that part of the plant so important?
Because they make pollen and they help it. It sort of makes the sugar. I mean, it makes the pollen so that the bees can take it to another flower.
And why is that so important for a plant?
Because if a flower's sort of dying and it needs pollen and it doesn't have it, and if another flower has a lot of pollen, the bees can come in and can transfer the pollen into the other flower.
What do we call that? What do we call that process where a bee takes that pollen and transfers it over to another flower? What is the name? What is the name of the process, Jalen? And I see you looking right up there. Yep. What's the name of that process?
Pollination.
Yes, pollination. Now, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. Draw what the offspring will look like based on everything you just told me.
Like draw the diagram.
Draw a picture. You're going to draw a picture right in the middle. So we've already cut out the images. You've already glued them. Now you're going to draw an image in the middle of what the offspring would look like based on their inherited traits. So you mentioned it will have petals, and you mentioned it will have polka dots. So go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and do that? Joshua, can you think of some other types of inherited traits? What are some inherited traits that you think you've inherited from your mom or from your dad?
Well, I've been changing throughout the years. Like I had the same kind of eyes as my dad.
So you and your dad have the same eye color. So you have the same eye colors because of your dad. It was passed down from your dad. What are some other examples of inherited traits? Jalen?
The same color of their skin.
Oh, yes, the same color of the skin. What else?
My hair came from my mom.
So you and your mommy have the same type of hair, yes. Continue to do that.
Where do I put this?
Just put it back inside the bin. And inside the pencil cup. So Jalen, why don't you tell Joshua exactly what you drew and why you drew it like that?
I drew the flower like that because I noticed that.
Talk to him, look him in the eye.
I noticed that the flower had pink petals, and I drew the petals as what the flower has.
So what are you going to draw, Joshua?
The same flower, but without the polka dot, because I think as the offspring, it didn't have anything.
Okay, so your offspring will have similar petals, but it won't have polka dots as the parent. So what's the trait that this plant has inherited, Jalen?
Well, I noticed that notice that they both have, like, describe what they have.
Based on what Joshua just said. So Joshua is drawing his plant. So the plant that he's drawing, what traits has his plant inherited from these two plants?
Like, I think what Joshua explains that it has these two dots.
The polka dots, yes. But look at Joshua's drawing of his plant. What are some of the traits that his plant has inherited from these two plants?
It has these little things.
And what do we find in this structure of the flower? Joshua mentioned it earlier. Why is this part of the
Pollen.
and why is pollen so important?
That's important because without the pollen, the plant will die.
The plant will die. What do you think about that, Joshua?
I agree with her because the pollen is sort of like how it lives, and the pollen makes it live because it helps it live by. It helps it live by the.
Think about it. Why is the pollen so important for a plant?
The pollen is so important for the plant because it will help it. I don't know how to say it, but it's.
Let's give Jalen a shot because I think she's got it. What does the pollen help the plant do, Jalen?
Well, without the pollen,
Why do you think the plant will die without the pollen?
I think the plant would die without the pollen because
Let's take it back. What structure of the plant? In what structure of the plant will you find the pollen? In what structure of the plant?
Oh my god, we're dissecting the.
Well, no, just in general. I mean, what structure of the plant would you find the flower?
right here.
What's the name of that structure where you would find the pollen?
I think this is called.
And remember, we can use our chart to help us remember. So in what structure of the plant would you find the pollen?
The stem. I mean the.
This is hard.
What are the different structures of a plant? You've already mentioned one. We have the stem,
Leaves.
Roots?
And flower.
leaves, flowers. What's the function of the leaves?
To make photosynthesis.
And why is photosynthesis important?
Because it turns sunlight into sugar.
And turns sunlight into sugar, which is called glucose. What is the function of the roots?
The function of the roots is to I think it's supposed to suck up the water.
Yeah, it absorbs the water from the ground and the nutrients. What's the function of the stem?
I think it makes.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's what it's there for. You can use your charts.
I cannot actually see.
So get up if you have to. What's the function of the stem?
The stem supports the plant.
Yeah, so the stem, come back. The stem supports the plant. The roots absorb the nutrients.